Hello and welcome to Crongdor the Barbarian, a puzzle game, a dungeon crawler. Well, in the end the game turned into a runner for me, so let's start with the basics. The game wants to be a tactics puzzle game where you have to get to the end of the level, and at the end of the level the game gives you stats based upon your kills, the gold you've collected, and the time it's taken. Implying to myself that the game wants you to not only kill the enemies, but wants you to explore all the levels and do them as quickly as possible. Two of those are a bit of a problem, and we'll come to that soon. So what is competent about the game? The graphics looks alright for a top-down game, with the hand-drawn style giving the game a cute paper cutout look, which worked well enough for this game, and all the models and textures seem to fit well enough with each other. So for an indie game, the feel of the game wouldn't have got anything extra from time being wasted on improving the graphics any more than what you can see here. So the game, it offers you a massive offering of 8 levels, of which, given the par time in total, gives you 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay. But with trial and error aspects of the game, you could get 2 hours to play out the game. Want to try and be a completionist? You're looking at 4 to 5 hours, but you're not going to want to try to do all the kills part, and I'll explain that soon. The game rotates around 3 main weapons, the first being a spear, your ranged weapon. You can carry up to 4 at a time, and you buy these from merchants. With a nice slow throw, and the main sword, which is your main melee weapon. You'll start each level with this, and the hammer, which the only difference between that and the sword that I can see is this interacts with the environments, which means you can knock down columns, which opens up some great puzzle ideas. You'll be able to mess around with the environment, but no, either not enough intelligence or the whole dynamic of the game fell down. I wasn't able to even explore the areas. But for me, the hammer just came to a point where you were just knocking down walls with it, just so you could move through the level. It was the only choice really. There was a column there, you knocked it down, you moved on. So the enemies on offer, you have your close melee, you have your ranged, and you have your surprise enemies, and there seems to be about 3 levels of each of these, an easier one, a medium one, and a harder one. The simplicity of the enemies is not a great mute point for the game, as I found the way to deal with all of them is just keep moving, and best tactic to deal with all of them is just not to bother. Just keep running, run away from all of them. Without the dodge mechanics, it falls down a little bit there, but as I said, we'll come to that all in a minute. I'm holding myself back from that, holding myself back. Items you find hidden are either gold items or health items. There's no more levels of complexity offered through the items. On top of that, the game could have given you some sort of customization through this, so you could have maybe found items that worked well once through the game, or maybe items that you kept going forward. I don't want to compare the game to Binding of Isaac. It has absolutely no chance to stand up to that, but let's take the example of Binding of Isaac. The way the items are done with that and the level of complexity, a smaller indie game like this is never going to copy. But the ideas of what that could offer through those systems should be something which I think this game should take on board if it does want to expand and actually become a game. Sounded a bit scathing, hey? So with the story, there is green crystals around that offer some fluff lines and hints about where to find your objectives and puzzles. And they also offer some jokes or some bit of a background information on what's going on, but nothing to actually make you care about the character. I think there was 1, maybe 2 that put a smile on my face. Other than that, it's all very sort of childish, basic humour. And the puzzles are so simple that hints and tips are just not needed for such a game like this. That it could have been a lot more better, putting in maybe some lore, something to make you laugh, something to at least try and make you care. Okay, that's the stuff where the game could improve, and with indie titles, you have to be less harsh on that. But where the game falls down spectacularly for me is the combat of the game. It's miserable, and it's less than imaginative than 2 Victorian gentlemen slapping each other with gloves. With no dodging or blocking, the game turns into a I swing, you swing, let's see who dies dynamic. So this pushes the game towards a move and hit system, which can be very enjoyable in games. This normally would involve dual analog stick movement, so you control with the left your movement and with the right the direction you're looking. As the game doesn't seem to support dual analog stick movement, This means that it really does turn into, as I described previously, I swing, you swing, let's all swing our dingalings. But the game... Am I being picky? Am I being picky? No. Come in close and let me show you how the combat swing moves. I mean, do you see how delayed that is as well? That is way too many frames. From me clicking to swing to it actually swinging means that I just need to sort of predict or guess where the AI is going to go, and the AI is pretty dumb. Point proven. So, if you look at the par times of the games, and I'll show you a quick one here, it's only a minute long, you can see that as I'm running through the game, I still just about miss out on the par time. If I'm also now going to take all the time it takes to do the combat in this game, which can only be done by swing, move away, run, and try and guess or sort of learn skills about when you start to swing your sword to when you can hit, it means the whole of the combat is just crap. And I'm not being picky, it's not enjoyable. Most of the time I just find myself trying to run in a circle as best as I can, and sort of an inward spiral, so you can sort of go around the outside of your enemy but still be facing them and still keep striking them while you're still moving so they can't strike you, and that's just not fun. And also, as most of the enemies are found in corridors, you can't even do that anyway, and so with no blocking again, the game just turns into I swing, you swing, let's all swing our dingaling. I don't know why I keep saying that. So if the game is a runner, the most important thing is going to be the controls. You know, you keep them nice and tight, you keep the frames down. But no, like a 3-year-old sticking his fingers in the plug socket, this developer has decided he knows best. And the movement is floaty. So what I mean by floaty is, if you watch here, when you turn the corner you can see you go a few extra, almost like half a tile up before you turn. And as you're trying to run through the levels and get through rooms that just have too many enemies in to fight, that you just have to run through quickly, when you get caught on the edge of the environments like this, just due to you floating into them, it can cause grand aggravation. And if this does happen, just restart the level and try again. Because it makes, when you're having to jump, and I say jump, the game has a weird system that when you leave a platform you don't fall down straight away, so if it's only one platform you just run and you make it onto the next platform, but then you have to stop on that platform, which isn't doable because you just press back, but it slows the whole of the pace of the game down, and you really have to subconsciously know you're doing it, which just, it's like a little flea in the back of your brain. It's just annoying, very, very much annoying. I mean, I call mine Melvin, but he still does annoy me from time to time. Would I recommend this game? No, the core concept of the game is just boring, and it doesn't work well together. I found myself not being offered a worthwhile challenge, nor did I find myself caring about the world or character. The game seems to be championing a map editor, but while the core gameplay doesn't work in my opinion, that being the battle system, then it makes the whole map editor pointless, because you wouldn't want to make a game on this. You'd just find a proper game editing piece of software out there and use that to make it. And if you look on Steam, there's plenty of ones out there, from your very much childish developers to your older developers. So why would you not make a map on this? Because the engine of the game is that poor. So, to my fans out there, thank you for watching. There is a bit of a rant at the end of this, and welcome to the new channel, Sindependent. Any comments you have would be much appreciated, and that's what the box is for down below. During rebranding though, you can email Playland Say still, but the other ones I need to get still up and running. But anyway, enjoy the world. But you have to run through the games. I might as well play an Infinite Runner. Don't give me that. This game seems to have a trend of a lot of games I've seen recently that offer a map editor with their game. I don't know whether that's what they've built in this game that has it. I'm going to presume that it doesn't, and I'm just going to go from there. A game like this, why bother offering a map editor? You've not bothered to design a good game. If you can't design a good game, no one's going to make maps for your game. Don't bother making a map editor. If you want to do that, do it as DLC later. If you're an indie developer out there, put your effort into making a good, worthwhile game. Show them what the map editor can do. Show them the core engine of this game, and show it off. Show the puzzles that can be done, the different types of combat that can be done. But why you're not going to do any of that and you're just going to slap it on there, don't even bother talking about it. Don't bother wasting your time about it. Because people out there don't give a shit unless they're going to enjoy the game that they can make the map on. I mean, the maps that you've shown here, you could make better stuff with very basic coding. I mean, the Atari games, you've probably had more complexity than this. I mean, if you look at the original Rogue game, which is essentially the same game because the combat is just hit you, hit me, the level of complexity on that is by far outweighs the level of complexity in this game. And if the guy who designs his own game can't make a fun game out of his own engine, then what chance do other people have who don't know it as well as he does to make a game? I mean, it's just a pointless waste of time, and you've wasted my time, you've wasted your time, and you've wasted everyone else's time. So go sit in the corner and think about what you've done. And breathe. No, I don't care. I'm not getting really rant bits at the end. I don't care what you say. These people need to know that they're wasting their time and they're doing stupid decisions. I mean, you saw the game I've just played, a map editor. A map editor for a game that can't even do anything but you have to run through the games. I might as well play an infinite runner. Don't give me that.
Hello, my friend. 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 Hello, my friend.